I couldn't resist going back to Ollie's to pick up some more comic book mystery packs. Stay tuned as we open all of these packs and see if we found any hidden gems in here. Welcome back, comic book fans. This is Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and in today's video, we are going to open up these packs that I picked up from Ollie's with comic books in them. You can see what's in the front, and you can see what's in the back, but you cannot see what's in the middle, so it's a little bit of a mystery. We're going to open them up and just have some fun with this. Sometimes you can have some hidden gems in there, and that's what we're hoping for today. Definitely, I bought these based on what I could see in the front and the back on a lot of these, but usually we'll pick up about 5 to 6 packs. We'll do an episode on it, and sometimes we can find some nice stuff in there, and sometimes, I think the last time we did this, it was a lot of dollar book bin fodder, really. But it was a lot of fun, and it's interesting to see if there's anything hidden in here that might actually be worth something. But before we begin, guys, hit that like button, slap the subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell. That way you won't be missing out on any of my episodes when I put them out on Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. So sit back, I'll get the knife, we'll open these up, we'll see what we can find here. All right, guys, like I said, I've got 5 or 6 of these here. We're just going to open them up one by one. We'll go through them. I'm not going to get into values on this, but some of these may be a little bit recognizable, and some of you guys might know what some of the prices are. And if you do, just let me know. Leave me a comment in the comment section, and I will, take that under advisement. A lot of times you'll find some good books in here, but I've found generally is that sometimes they're lesser quality. They've got some spine ticks and things like that, but definitely some good reads. And you never know. Sometimes you can find some things. I mean, I know one of the first Ollie's books packs that I opened up, I found some X-Men #1 from 1991, the Magneto covers. Those were really good. I want to say there was a couple of really good books from the first time I did an Ollie's unopening that were really good. The second one, the last one, was not quite as good. This one it got some interesting things on the front and the back here, but let's just go through them. We'll see what's in the inside. In fact, I tell you what, though, I have actually been sitting on these packs. I've had these for probably about a month, and I haven't opened them. So by the time I get around to doing a 4th Ollie's video, it'll be several months since I've been there, and it should be interesting on that 4th one to see if there's been a turnover at Ollie's and see if there's any more new comics in these packs. And when I say new comics, I just mean different comics, because these are all usually old comics for the most part. Anyway, rambling, let's get on with it. So this pack here here's a book. It's Weapon X. This is from the Age of Apocalypse. This is issue #2. I believe you've got an Andy Hubert cover right there. That's pretty nice. And the other book that I could see on this pack, I probably bought this one because of this issue right there. I always did enjoy a lot of that Age of Apocalypse storylines and some of the artwork. Not all of it, but I did like some of the renditions of some of those characters. The other one is a What If issue. What if War Machine had not destroyed the living laser? I've never seen that What If. This is issue number 63. I really never got into the second volume of the What Ifs. It just never really piqued my interest. There were a few interesting ones in there, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the original ones, especially the original first. Well, actually, no, the whole first run, they had a lot of good stories in there. Here's an interesting one. This is issue number 5 of What the? And you've got the Pulverizer versus the Wolverine. So that's a fun parody type book that Marvel put out in the 80s. Now this is an interesting cover. I bet you this is Keith Griffin. This is Legion of Superheroes number 313. He did a lot of really good stories with the Legion there. Oh, and here's a nice one. This is the New Mutant Special Edition #1. And I wonder if that is an Art Adams cover right there. It kind of looks like it. And here, actually, now I'm reading it back. It's an Art Adams and Terry Austin book. It's a wraparound. That's pretty neat. I don't think I ever had this when I was reading New Mutants. This is 1985. I probably do have this on the PC. I was getting annuals back then on a lot of these books, but to be honest with you, I don't recall that book at all. That's not a bad little pack right there. I wonder if anything in here has some value. If not, these are some really good books to definitely sit down and read. So that wasn't bad, not a bad start. The second pack right here, now I will tell you, I definitely bought this because of the book right there. It does have a nice spine tick right there in the black. This is Camelot 3000. That was a 12-issue maxi series. And it's a book, especially not necessarily the first issue, but all of those issues. I seem to find a lot of those when I go to comic shows in the dollar bin type bins. The show I went to, the Everything's a Dollar show that I went to a few episodes ago that I talked about, and I think I literally picked up like 60 or 70 books for $1 each. There were a lot of Camelot 3000s in there. I didn't see any issue 1s or I would have picked that up. But let's just show you that right there. You got Brian Bollard. Boland? Is it Bollard? It's Boland. I always want to call him Bollard. But it's Brian Boland artwork on that. That's pretty nice. And then the other book that I could see in the pack was this. This is Rebels, number 25. You've got Lobo there getting punched by somebody. It says Starro on the cover, but wasn't Starro sort of like the starfish? I don't know who that is. I wonder if that's Blue Devil. But yeah, I wonder. I'll have to read that one to find out. Here is issue number 4 of Wonder Man. This is a book I never had. I had the first issue of this series, but I know I didn't continue reading that after that first issue back when it originally came out. I know I've picked up the first issue at some shows over the last half a year because there is a rumor, well, I guess it's more than rumor, that they are going to do a Wonder Man TV series, and it's going to be based on his Hollywood persona. So I don't know if there any of these characters. This looks like a new Splice. Is that a new character? I've never heard of him. I assume this is his first appearance. If he used him in the show, well, I've got an issue number 4 with his first appearance. Oh, here's another Wonder Man book, and it is got a trading card inside. It is Polybag. This is the second annual, 1993, and it's got a card in there. It is from Hitmaker. He's a super villain. Can you guys see that right there? I don't recall this at all. And of course, there he is on the cover. And then the last issue was in here. Oh, I remember this. I was definitely reading Legion of Superheroes back then. This is issue number 276. So again, I don't know if there's a lot of value, but these are, I don't want to say throwaway books, actually. These are good books to read. I mean, isn't that why we all got into this for the most part? We didn't look at everything, that everything has to have a dollar value really associated with it, even though we talk about a lot of value when we add comics to our collection. This channel primarily talks about adding value to your collection, whether you're going to sell it or just keep it. But everything begins with us loving these stories. And I will tell you that this Legion story was during that time, I don't remember the story exactly, but I remember reading them at this time and definitely had that issue. But so far, so good on terms of just having fun stuff to have on the PC to read, really. And I will tell you, one of the ideas I've been floating around with all these Ollie books that I've been picking up, and not necessarily just needing to keep boxes and boxes of these reader copies. I mean, it just takes up space. These are books, what I'm considering is actually saving a lot of these, and instead of just trying to sell them or bulk them out or something like that, I'm considering something I saw from another YouTuber, start giving some of these comics away on Halloween. I think that would be an interesting way to kind of share the love of the hobby to younger kids. Of course, I guess you got to be a little careful which books you give out too, because I know that we get a lot of really young kids in our neighborhood. So this one right here, the 2 books that I could see was this. You had Crystar, the Crystal Warrior, number 3. I definitely didn't buy it for that. I did buy it for this. This is 2099 Unlimited, and is this the first appearance of Hulk 2099? You guys let me know. I think it is, but as I said, this has been well over a month since I got this, and I was thinking at the time that it was, but that's a pretty cool issue. I remember Crystar, the Crystal Warrior books when they came out in the 80s, and not something I was interested in, and I can tell you right now that I'm not really interested in it now. Here is a polybagged X-Men 294 with this cable cover. He's standing over Professor X, where he just apparently killed Professor X. And the card that I have in this is part of the Executioner Song cards, the card of Professor X. That's kind of cool. I've picked up 2 trading cards already in this collection. And here's an issue of The Spectre, number 36. You never know on some of these. Like, Spectre is one of those books that some of these may end up being kind of interesting. I know that the new James Gunn DCU is starting to speculate on some of these other characters, and I know that this particular series of The Spectre, there's one issue in particular that's been talked about, but you never know where the show goes or what inspiration they take from any of this. But who knows, you may end up stumbling on something good. Something like this, maybe nothing right now, but all it takes is James Gunn to pull out some character out of the hat, and this is a $50 or $60 book or something. So, interesting book. And oh, this is really nice, actually. This is first issue of the X-Men and Alpha Flight miniseries. It is Paul Smith artwork. I remember this. Got this wraparound cover here. Let me see if I can do that. And you can tell the major villain here is Loki. You can see him over there. And there, I'm looking on the inside, and they're definitely in Asgard there. So again, this has been a really interesting little pack here. And I dare say that this one actually has some value to it with the 2091 Unlimited and this X-Men book. So X-Men Alpha Flight book. Yeah, that's really nice. Again, more fun books and maybe some surprising value on that. All right, this pack right here, I don't remember why I got this. It has an Aquaman number 3 issue and a Marvel Comics Presents number 31 issue. And yeah, I think I just picked up a pack just to say, hey, let's just take a shot what's on the inside, because those 2 books are definitely not something that I would have done as any kind of speculation. Let's show this. We've got Aquaman 3 and Marvel Comics Presents number 31. Got Story with Havoc there. All right, let's see what else is in here. This is Thor 466. Now, these are some late Thors that just honestly weren't very good, to be honest. Oh, this is a nice issue. Daredevil 297. You've got Typhoid Mary. Who did this? Is this Lee Weeks artwork at this time? I think it was. Let's give me a moment. I'll open it up. Yeah, I was right. Lee Weeks, Al Williamson. These are some nice Daredevil issues. It's not CGC 9.8 anymore there. Oh, ooh, this is actually really nice. Wow. How about this? Conan the Barbarian movie special number 2. And you got the great John Buscema coming back and doing the artwork on this. Yeah, absolutely. This is the movie adaptation, but interestingly, they got John Buscema to do this, and they didn't draw it like it was Arnold from the movie. It looks like Conan from all of the John Buscema books that he drew for many years. One of his favorite characters to draw. So that's pretty cool. And this is actually, I just did a quick look, but wow, that is in really good shape there. Oh, excuse me, got an itch. Sorry about that. So yeah, this is a really good pack. This would be interesting. I mean, this could use a press, but I don't see any spine breaks on that. I wonder what this would grade out. I mean, if it could grade out to a 9.8, I'm curious to see what this would actually be. Kind of curious. There's probably a nice hidden gem right there. All right. This pack, I think I picked it up a little bit for the who's who in the DC universe right there. Looks like it's issue number 1. Of course, it starts it was alphabetical, so it starts with A, and of course you got Aquaman there. And I remember this series, and I think they had two different ones, but this series right here, I think all the covers were done by George Perez. So just having wonderful George Perez artwork alone is something pretty cool. The back issue here is What If Iron Man Sold Out? And this is issue number 64 of that second series, second volume of What If. So let's open this up and see what we can find in there. Now let's just start with this. This is the What If Iron Man Sold Out. And here is the who's who with Aquaman. And you know, got a little front there. You can see it. I mean, when he does his own inking, it is some super sharp art. And here's the back cover. They were always a spread. And you see Aqualad there. And you see all the other characters that were starting with A. Yeah, I got some good stuff right there. All right, let's see what else we find in here. Oh, okay. So here is a Who's Who update from 1987, but this is volume 4, and this is kind of an update. Like it isn't just letter L or letter M or whatever. It actually goes from L to R, and oh wow, hey, take a look at this. I wasn't even sure who did this, but I looked down here at the bottom. This is a Todd McFarlane cover from Who's Who. Check this out. Here, can you see that? No, that's pretty cool. There we go. Wow, I never knew Todd McFarlane did some of these. You got Power Girl there on the cover. You've got The Question. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And again, you got some Todd McFarlane cover art there. That is really now that's a nice hidden gem, because I wouldn't have even I never even knew that Todd McFarlane did any of those. That is definitely pretty cool. All right, last two books that are in here. This is actually one of the newest books I've seen in this whole batch. This is from 1999. This is Vigilante number 2. This is, I'm sorry, not 99, 2009 actually. This is Faces of Evil, and you got the Vigilante there. There were some wonderful covers that were done for this Faces of Evil across the line. I remember the Catwoman one was just spectacular. Don't remember some of the other ones exactly, but I remember the Catwoman really liking that one. Oh, and here's something nice. And it looks like it's a really nice, clean copy. It is New Mutants number 4, the original series. And I remember the artwork at the time, and I want to say this was Bob McLeod. Is that how you say his name? Is it McLeod or McLeod? I never knew that. But I remember some of his art was, I don't want to say plain, but if you got the right inker with his artwork, it was very dynamic. And this cover right there is a good example of that. I wonder who did the inking on that. I'll have to look that up. And the interior is done by Sal Buscema. I remember Sal did the pencils of this, and Bob McLeod did the inks on that. But I think that McLeod did the inking. I think he did the whole cover here, and that is really spectacular. Really nice. He's always at one of these shows that I go to, one of the big ones, Heroes Con, Baltimore Comic Con, and I've gotten everything I needed to get signed by him, but it's one of those things where if you collect autographs, you never really run out of things to get signed. That is a really nice book, but I think if I was going to take a New Mutants book, I would probably take the issue number 1, and I don't know, did he actually do the graphic novel that was the first appearance of the New Mutants? You guys let me know, because I don't know that for a fact. I'll look it up, but I'm not sure. Maybe you can probably find out faster than I could and let me know. But decent pack right there. All right, last pack, and we finally get back to, we got another Marvel Comics Presents X-Men with Havoc. It's a different issue, so it's probably the issue before or after. And the reason I bought this one, it had The Untold Legend of the Batman. This is issue number 1 right there. And I remember these are always really good stories back in the 80s like that. You would find some surprising artists on some of these different ones that you would do for Superman and Batman like that. I'm not sure who did the art on here. Let me look real quick. Oh, this is definitely Jim Aparo. Yeah, actually, it's John Byrne and Jim Aparo doing the art on here. Yeah, this is really nice. Again, I don't know on a book like that. It's a #1 issue. If the grade, if it comes out a high grade, I'm sure it's worth a little bit of money, but I don't know on its own if it's just worth anything. And then the other book that I showed you a second ago was the Marvel Comics Presents #28 with Havoc. And let's see what else is in here. Oh, we got another issue of Thor, and they're during that late run, 465. He's taking on the Super Skrull. And again, those issues during this time, I don't know how well they did, but I honestly couldn't stand the artwork at this time. I'm sure I know I didn't get these at that time. I'd probably dropped Thor by this point, but that's kind of nice. Got the Super Skrull there. We just saw the Super Skrull sort of on the Disney Plus series Secret Invasion. I don't know how you guys thought about that series. I think it left a lot on the table and they could have done a lot more with it. I saw some really good videos talking about that TV series and what they could have done. And I kind of agree with the assessment when they said they told you more than they showed you. And that's that's always a sign when they have to tell you what's going on rather than showing you what's going on. You can tell that they're under a limited budget, and it's very lackluster in the end. Last 2 issues. Oh, this is kind of nice. Okay, so we got another Daredevil, late Daredevil, 299. And again, I think this is another Lee Weeks. Yeah, he did the cover here. He's definitely doing the interior. And you can't see it, but up here in the wall behind me, maybe someday I'll pan across the wall and I'll show you all the signed prints that I have currently on the wall. And I've got a beautiful Spider-Man print up there signed by Lee Weeks. And that's one of the things that it depends on the show and what I'm really targeting. There's been plenty of comic book shows, big shows with artists there, where I'm not really interested as much in getting some books signed or getting CGC books signed, or even buying comics books for that matter. I mean, there's been a ton of shows where I really didn't pick up hardly any comic books, but I was always interested in getting signatures from the artist. And one of the things I would love to get signed all the time would be these prints. You can see back here, like this print right here is from one of the Captain America issues from the Mike Zeck run. And I've got Mike Zeck and John Beatty and DeMathis all signed this right here. Just like Zeck has signed this. But I've got other prints over here. They're all signed, and they're all these 11x17 prints. And that's one of the things that a lot of times I will go to a show and I will just pick up prints from all the different artists, and I will change these out occasionally. Now, if you've been watching the show for any time, you know that I haven't changed these hardly at all. I think the only one that you can even see that I've changed recently or within the last half year has been the Jimmy Chung Young Avengers print right there. I know I put that up there, but I think it's kind of cool to come in, trying to turn this family room, this kind of my man cave, into a comic book gallery. I don't display the comic books, but I definitely like displaying these prints. Anyway, I'm going on about that. Last book in this haul, it's actually pretty nice. This is a giant size annual from Conan #10. This is from 1986. This is a book that I never had, but actually looks in really decent shape. And that's something I just kind of realized, that a lot of these books in here are in really good shape. Now, none of these on their own, just as a book, might be that super valuable, but these are a lot of books from the 80s and some 90s. And if you can pull 9.8s off in just about anything, there is definitely some value there just because of the grade on the book. And especially if you can pull some of these late Bronze Age, early Copper Age books. If you can get something on that, somebody out there would love to have that, but I'm sure it wouldn't be a super big value. I mean, you could get this grade as a 9.8, but how many people are out there actually looking for that? There's probably a handful that would be interested in that. So this isn't a video about money making and trying to add a lot of value to your collection. This is about having fun. And definitely this was fun because all of these books are something that I can sit down there and read and enjoy, and I can pass on to somebody else to enjoy at some point. So that's it. That's all the packs I picked up. So what I ended up paying for this was, I think what I had 6 packs there. I paid a whole $6 a piece. And for $36, I think I actually got a lot of value just in entertainment right there. So hopefully you guys enjoy this unboxing. Hopefully you guys will have some of these books. Let me know. Do you have any of these books? Let me know by leaving me a comment in the comment section below. And if you ever like any of the books that I have in my videos and you want them for any reason, I mean, even these raw ones, if you say, hey, Russ, I have been looking for Conan number 10, the annual, for 15 years and I haven't been able to find it. Can you sell that to me? Or can you give that to me? Reach out. It's not a big deal. You can just reach out to me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com or DM me on my Instagram account. And for the things I do have for sale, I have them listed on my eBay store and on my Shortbox page. And those links are down in the description. So guys, definitely check that out when you get a chance. But I had a lot of fun today. This was a lot of fun. I can't believe I've been sitting on these books for this long. I'll be making another trip down to West Virginia pretty soon. I will probably stop by Ollie's again. It's by this point, when I stop next time, it will probably be well over 2 months, and we'll see if the stock is overturned and see if I find anything else interesting. I can probably will see this as an ongoing series. Probably about once every 2 to 3 months, I'll probably do an episode on this and see what fun stuff that we can find, and then see if we can find any hidden gems. But that's it for today, guys. Take care. I will see you for the next episode. And remember, guys, every comic has a story.